Hey there everyone, we're looking at graphing linear equations from features. So we're going to look at the features of linear equations, so the intercepts and the gradients, and how they can be used to help us with some graphing. Okay, so to help you out with that, there's some language that we need to look at. So just as a reminder in regards to like how we're going to do this. So you have your Cartesian plane. Here's my straight line. Where it cuts the y-intercept here, sorry, where it cuts the y-axis, that is your y-intercept, and that coordinate will be 0 and some value along the y-axis. Down here, at that point, is your x-intercept, and that is going to have some value and a 0 because that's where it is on the y-axis. So they're your intercepts. Now, when we use our features to graph, you can understand why that would be a lot quicker. Put 1 point here, draw a straight line. That's a lot quicker than doing a table of values. Then the other thing is your slope. Now, there is mathematics behind it, but based on the subject matter, you don't actually need to know that. You just need to know like the slope and its relationship. So this is your gradient. And a couple of things you need to remember is that with a gradient, the bigger the number, so greater than 1, the steeper the slope. So like, ooh, there we go. Gentle slope and numbers like less than 1, so halves, quarters, 0.75, things like that. So here's my axis and my slope is really gentle. Positive is when you have the x increasing and y increasing. So as a result, your graph goes like this. And if your x increases and your y decreases, that results in a negative graph. So it's in that downward slope there. Okay, so let's sketch a graph from our intercepts. So remember though, we need to, sketching the graph, you let y equals 0 to find the x-intercept and x equals 0 to find the y-intercept. Now, there's a bit of algebra involved in this, so keep that in mind. So here we go. Let's find our y-intercept first. That one's going to be a little bit easier. So y-intercept, write your formula, y equals 2x plus 4. To find the y, we're going to let x equal 0, so that's this thing we're substituting in. Y equals 2 times 0 plus 4. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 4 and y. So therefore your y-intercept is going to be 0, 4. And then you do the same thing for your x-intercept. Now this is where the algebra comes into play. So y equals 2x plus 4. We let y equal 0, so substitute that in. 2 times x plus 4. So I'm thinking of a number, I multiply it by 2, and then I add 4. I said add 4 last, so that's the first thing I move over to the other side. Opposite of adding is subtracting. So 0 minus 4 gives us negative 4, which equals 2x. And then the opposite of multiplying by 2 is divide. Divide by 2. And then our answer is going to be 4 divided by 2 is 2. And because it's a negative, this is a positive, it's negative 2x. So, it's going to be negative 2, 0. So what I do is I take those numbers and plot them on my graph here. Let's use a red, black. So 0 and 4, 0, 4, maybe not that color, no better, and negative 2 and 0, which is here. So let's see if red works. Yep, and yep. Then you would take your straight line and draw between them. And that is your sketching a graph using the features of your linear equations. Last thing is, here we go. So remember, your x equals 0 to find your y, and your y equals 0 to find your x for this here. So pause. A couple of features of the gradient of a straight line. Your rise is the difference between your y values, and your run is the difference between your x values. All you really need to know is that direction, so following this direction, is positive, going down is negative. If it has a horizontal line, it's 0, and if it's vertical, it's undefined. So in this case here, our line is going, the gradient is negative. And how we can determine that is the value of the gradient is that the difference between here and here, so is 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's the change in the rise over the change in the run. Run. And that is 2 over 2, which gives us 1. Our gradient is 1. But it is also a negative because it's this here, because it's going in this direction. All right. All you need to do is state whether or not these lines are positive, negative, or undefined, or 0. There you go. Cheers, everyone.